everyone, my name is Makeup by Plumtay and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a product review of a new Charlotte Tilbury product. And I'm so excited to give this a go because I haven't actually used a lot of Charlotte Tilbury products. It's something new, something fresh, and I am not sure if they have done a lot of eyeshadow palettes before. I was kindly sent this to review on my socials, not particularly on this, but I just thought it would be fun to give it a go, and this is what I created with it. So stay tuned to see my final thoughts and my processes, and I've done a few cheeky swatches. But before we begin, I would love if you would consider subscribing. I do post every single week, and I would absolutely love if you would leave a like. It does help me out a ton, and without further ado, let's get into reviewing this Charlotte Tilbury palette. I suppose let's just dive straight in. So just to disclaim a few things before I begin, I am honestly not the biggest fan of Charlotte Tilbury products, bearing in mind I've only tried like the miniature versions of, what is it called, like the blush and the highlighter duos, and I just felt like it was a bit lackluster for the price. I don't know, it's disappointing. I found that a lot of cheaper products perform better, like much cheaper products. So yeah, right off the bat, I'm a bit hesitant to review this palette because it looks absolutely gorgeous, but I don't know, with the quality of the products I have used in the past, I'm nervous. So as I said, I'm going to be reviewing this Charlotte Tilbury product, and I was very lucky to be sent this. Although there was absolutely no obligation to post this video, I thought it would be cool to do a complete honest review. Now this does retail for £49, which is absolutely insane. I think I've seen that a few people comment about the packaging. They're not quite a fan of this, especially with the plastic lid. They said it minimizes like the luxurious feel to Charlotte Tilbury, but honestly I'm not really fussed about it as long as the shades perform to the quality of the price of this palette. I'm not fussed. This palette is the Charlotte's palette of beautifying eye trends. This particular one is called Emerald Effect. This is just filled with some lovely shimmer shades. You got a mixture of bronze, some gold, some greens and blues, which I am so excited to delve into. And you've got the shades on the back of the palette, which I thought was quite intriguing. I wasn't expecting it to be on the back, if I'm honest with you, but I'm not mad at it. I have been quite on a bit of a shimmer rave at the moment, so if the quality is there for this palette, this is definitely going to be up my alley. So to begin this review, I'm going to do some swatches on my arm. Now we all know, if you've watched my other videos, I'm not the greatest with swatches, but I'm gonna try. You know, the more you do it, the more you're going to improve. I think I will do it in rows. I'm really tempted to just do all shimmers at once, but you know, something is bound to go wrong if I do that. So this first shade is called Diamond Dimension. These feel so soft. I'm loving that. So far so good. The next shade is Matte Silk. Then we have Molten Satin. I am obsessed with that shade already. Okay, we are really looking good so far, although I don't want to get my hopes up too much. This is another Molten Satin. So that one I just swatched seemed like a deeper, more kind of round, goldy, bronzy shade compared to the other one I just did. The gorgeous shade in the middle is Crystal Chrome. I'm so excited to swatch this one. I don't think I have a shade like this in my collection. If this performs as well as it does like that, I am going to be one happy little lady. We have our second Matte Silk shade. Okay, that one's slightly nerving. It didn't seem to be as grey as the other ones, but we'll see. It's just a swatch. Okay, now we're at the shades that I am so excited for. This is the reason why this palette is called Emerald Effect. We have Crystal Pop, another Crystal Pop, and then another Diamond Dimension. here are all of the swatches of the palette. I am so excited to give these a go on my eye, especially with the shimmer shades. They look absolutely gorgeous. The only one I am hesitant about is the second matte shade because it came out a bit patchy, and when I dragged the shade across my arm, the color kind of disappeared. So yeah, I suppose we're just gonna see about that. And the other thing I noticed with the swatch is with the last shade, the other diamond one, it's more of a loose shimmer rather than a pigment, which is a bit of a shame. The time has come, so first thing we've got to do is, of course, we've got to do the eye primer. The one that I have been using lately is the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. This has been such a great product for my oily eyelids. If you are looking to get a product that actually works for oily eyelids, so far this has been the only thing to combat it. I do have to say that I do not have any sort of plan for this look today. It could end up being completely horrible, but you know, as long as we've had fun today. One thing I've just noticed as well, so I apologize for this. You can really see all of my fingerprints from where I've been holding this. That probably didn't look attractive, did it? I think the first thing I'm going to do is take the nice matte silk shade right at the top and just put that into my crease. It's a good starting point at least. Okay, so far it's a lot more pigmented than I thought it was going to be, but it's starting to come up slightly patchy, which I don't usually experience with my eye primer. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, I don't know if you can see here and a little bit on the inner part, but it's coming out quite patchy, and I've tried to, you know, blend it, maybe try and add a bit more color, but it's just not having it for some reason. But yeah, bit of a disappointing start, but I'm hoping that the rest can, I don't know, make me happier. I think I want to move in with the shimmer shades now. I have to say I am eyeing up all three of these shades right here, so I don't really know how I'm gonna go about doing it. I'm just gonna wing it, see how it goes. I think I will start off with this lighter green shade down at the bottom. So far that's looking very, very promising. The one thing I'm quite impressed about, I'll probably bite my tongue off in a second, but there's been absolutely no fallout, which I'm very impressed with. Usually I experience a ton of fallout with a lot of shimmers, but yeah, so far there's been practically nothing with this. I have found that you can really make these shimmer shades quite sparse, like not as bold, but you can also build it up. Like for example, I've put on a second layer on this eye, but on that side I haven't, and it just seems a bit more bold. We're going to go in with this lighter blue shade now. I'm going to put it in the middle directly, and then after that I'm going to put the darker green shade. Gonna create kind of, I suppose, like an ombre effect with this. I mean, if all goes well, then hopefully that's what's gonna happen. So this shimmer doesn't appear to be as bold as the green one that I have just applied. It's more like a subtle hint of blue rather than an in-your-face kind of blue like we saw in the palette. I'm going to go in with a second layer just to see if that helps make the colour pop a little bit more. I think that appears to have done the job. Not by a lot, but a bit, you know. You can tell that it's blue rather than green. Now we are dipping into the deep blue shade, and as I said before, this is just going to go next to the lighter blue shade we applied in the middle. So I've started experiencing my first little bit of fallout. You can see a few chunks here in the corner. Oh. Well, that doesn't help my situation, does it? With this shade, it appears more of a, how would I describe it? It's kind of like if you took a matte shade and then sprinkled a little bit of shimmer on top. So this one doesn't really come out shimmery. I suppose if I like stuck my neck out like that, you can really see the shimmer, but I don't think we're gonna walk around like this all day, are we? Yeah, it's quite nice actually with my head tilted like this. I do have to say that they do appear to be blending quite easily together, which I kind of wasn't expecting. Sometimes it's so hard to blend these types of product together, but it's been pretty easy. Before I apply that gold shade on my inner corners, I do just want to go back in with the earlier shimmer shades and touch them up a little bit, because I feel like the color has just washed away with those. So I'm going to try and make them more obvious. I'm pretty satisfied with how it's looking at the moment. Now is the time to go in with the gold shade that I am so excited for. I'm going to go in with the same brush that I have been using for the other shades. I have been wiping it off on a, what do you call it, a face cloth when I've been switching up the shades. It's really packed on there very well. I don't want to get my hopes up. It blended into the green shade so beautifully. I am very happy with that. I definitely think this is one of my favorite shades in this whole entire palette. To round off the look, I'm taking the first shade that I ever used on a smaller kind of angled brush and just bringing that underneath my eye to round it off a little bit. I am starting to feel like there is glitter exploded underneath my eyelids. Eyelids? Under my eye area. Now I'm going to take like a teeny tiny version of the brush that I was just using, and I've got to go in with this shade in my inner corners just to finish it off, because how can you not? Oh, that looks so pretty. This is the eye look completed. I'm just gonna go do my mascara and then I will come back with my final opinions and some close-ups of my eyes. So this is the eye look completed. I do still have quite a bit of mixed feelings about this palette. I do have to say that I really think this eye look is quite pretty with all of the shades, but the only thing I'm a bit down about is that blue shade that I applied right in the center. I feel like you can barely even see it, which is so disappointing because I thought it looked absolutely gorgeous. Like, here's a side-by-side comparison. I feel like you can barely even tell it's there, even though you've just watched me apply layers upon layers of this on my eye. But yeah, I don't know, maybe this is going to be more for a, like this shade in particular is going to be more for a not completely shimmery look. But yeah, no, that's a bit disappointing. In terms of the other shades, apart from that weird patchiness at the beginning, I'm still not sure what happened there. That never happens. I think the shimmers are definitely the key selling point of this. I mean, obviously, because considering that's basically the whole palette. Apart from that goddamn blue shade, I think they are so stunning. Is it worth £49? I don't think so, but that's just because I don't like spending more than like, I don't know, £12 on a makeup product. But if it happens to be on a deal and you really do love shimmers, I think these are definitely something you should go for. However, I would say that there are equally as good drugstore options, like for instance the NYX Ultimate palettes. I think they're absolutely underrated and their shimmers are so stunning, and they're only like, what, I think £10, maybe £15 if you're pushing it, and that's still like ditchy in comparison to £49, and you get more shades than this. So yeah, as I said, I'm feeling quite mixed about it. I am quite excited to give all of the other shades a go though, like the brownie shades, the bronzy shades, because as I was saying, they're definitely my colors. I absolutely love them. That's all I would say about this, really. It really depends on how you are as a person. Me personally, I would not purchase any other palettes. Again, I did not purchase this one myself, so I'm not as upset that I feel like my money's been wasted, because again, the shimmers were very gorgeous, barring the blue. That one's basically non-existent. That's my opinion of this, I guess. It's great, but there are better for a lot cheaper. But that will be it from me today. I really do hope you enjoyed this video and review. If you have this product, let me know how you feel about it, or if you're gonna pick up any of the other palettes. And apart from that, I will see all of you in my next one.